guys, I'm about to start editing this video that you're watching now, because that's quite meta, and that's how we work here. But over the last 2 days, there hasn't been a huge amount that I could film, because we were preparing for a very big and very long, as it turned out, meeting regarding Jennifer's issues. And yesterday we were actually having that meeting, so I couldn't film any of that, which meant that large chunks of the days were something that I couldn't do anything about. So instead of just trying to put something together like a quick piece of camera to tide us over, I decided I'll just put what I can film together later. So on the first of these 2 days, we went out to Bury. And there wasn't a huge amount there. The reason we were there is mainly just to have a day out, get some fresh air and get us out of the house while we were dealing with other stuff. So we popped into a few charity shops, popped into CEX there, see what was going on, and I'll show you part of the game hall later on. But Bury was nice, well, full of people, but there's not a huge amount else I can say about that. It's interesting, the comparison between Bury and Bolton. Bury is full today. I mean, it is market day, so there are going to be a lot of people. Bolton, when we've been around, there are people, yeah, but not to the same extent. Whether it's Bolton or Bury, yes, there are people. Yes, they are wandering around. Yes, they are getting in your way and filling up shops. Hardly anyone is going to the till. Everyone is browsing. The only place that was doing any trade was the market. People coming and buying food. So it's an interesting situation, because it's one of those things where you think, why do shops even bother having a high street branch anymore when people are literally coming in, browsing and then leaving? But people are buying presents. The economy is holding up. The economy is holding up to a certain extent. People are buying things, but they're not buying it in the high street. They're buying it on the internet, having looked at stuff in the high street, and that's not a good situation to be in. So I'm quite worried for the future with that regard. So we move on to yesterday, and yeah, again, not a huge amount I could talk about, because most of the morning and part of the afternoon was taken up with this large meeting with the sisters dealing with Jen's case, and yeah, that went on. Good progress. We did good progress, and I think we're now in the end stages. We're coming up to solving all of these issues, but still a little way to go. But the sisters on it now, and the union's on it, so hopefully it means I can get my life back, and so can Jen. Well, to a certain extent Jen can, but for the full resolution she's going to have to wait until it's all done, of course. But after that we decided, well, we're in Salford. We've never been to the CX in Salford, and we'd never checked the Salford charity shops. So we did the rounds, and there wasn't a huge amount in the charity shops. There was good stuff there, but most of it we have, which is what happens when you end up with 800 games. Well, nearly 800 now. Yeah, nearly 800, my goodness. But the CEX, pretty much untouched. Guy had dropped off 40 games the day before, and we got the pick of them. So I'm going to go now to that, because we did a lot, and that was worth it. Hey guys, it's another day and another set of pickups. Now, this week has been quite stressful, and as a result, I decided that didn't I needed a bit of retail therapy? You know how it goes. So, went off and had a look in a couple of CEXs. One that we haven't been to for a while, and one that we hadn't been to at all. And decided, well, it's been a while. We haven't done a proper binge on games. So we did that over a couple of days. Now, first one we went to was in Bury, and we checked out all the charity shops as well, but there weren't many things to pick up. Today, we went out to Salford, and what we found there was really, really good. Now, we haven't been to Salford, and chances are we won't be going back, because it's really, really difficult on this ridiculous one-way system. Well, part one-way, part just mess system that they've got, where sometimes there's a sudden bus lane right in the, like, surprise, bus lane in the lane that you're in without any indication. So we didn't like that. Very stressful drive. But it was worth it to get there to this CEX, so we picked up a lot of stuff. And now I want to talk about all of that. But first, I want to talk about a few issues I've had lately. Now, I ordered a few things off the CEX website, because I'm getting sick of trying to track down club football and just want to get over with. So I've been ordering some of them online. This came today. Can you notice the bit that's not shining? This bit here? Yeah. They've cut the CEX label off there. that's the only explanation I can find, because I picked this up today, and it's one that I've left the stickers on, partly to use as an example here, but mostly because I leave the stickers on until I've tested a game, so that if the stickers are still on when I go out, I know to take it and get it cleaned. This one, The Hobbit, needs to get cleaned, but look at where the label is compared to where the problem is. Yep, right there. They've cut the label off. So I can't believe they've done that. So I'm going to keep this because it's hard to find these. Like I said, I've had to order this. But I'm going to go and lodge a complaint with CEX down in town so that they can forward it back to the people who sent me this. That's not acceptable. I'm not sure where's it come from. But all the invoices seem to come from Watford. So I'll take this down. I've got the web order and fulfillment order and all of that. So they'll be able to find out which shop it's come from. And send word back that that's not acceptable. You can't do that. But anyway, what I've picked up, and I've mixed them all together, so I'm not going to go through it. Like I say, already picked up and tried The Hobbit. Now, it looks pretty good. The case is nice. It's got the full manual, which is in decent condition. So I'm very happy with that. It just needs a quick clean, and then it'll be fine. So I'm going to put that to one side as well. Yeah, I'll put that with Arsenal Club Football. Now this is the one I really wanted to talk about today, so I'm going to do that first before I forget, because my goodness, SOCOM US Navy SEALs in the box with the headset. Never seen a headset before for the PlayStation. I've seen the Xbox one because I've got one. I bought the pack of what was it, Project Gotham Racing 2, which is amazing. Love that game. For original Xbox with the Xbox Live headset. I had Xbox Live for quite a while actually. I used to game on Unreal Tournament on it. But here's a PlayStation Live headset. Never had one of these back in the day, just got it now. Standard thing, not much. With the USB controller, that's the interesting part. It is it is the right one. It's not just a generic one stuck into the box to make it up. It's the actual SOCOM US Navy SEALs thing. So that was rather cool. For £2 I was going to pick it up, even though I've already got 2 copies of SOCOM. One with a replica case, because CF do that when they're very damaged or they've lost it or whatever. They print out a new thing. No, it's obvious that they've done it because they're never on the right paper. They're not trying to hide, but I don't particularly go for them because I prefer not to. I do have 2 in my collection, and you can spot them a mile off, but yeah, I prefer not to. So I've got a replica case one and a normal case one. This is going straight up onto the wall up there, and that'll be very nice, because I've got a little collection of big box stuff up there. And yeah, the moment I saw it, even though I've got the game, I had to have it because A, the boxes look cool, even though that one's slightly tatty, and B, I've never seen the headset before, had to have a look. Now, this is going to be a long one. This is why I'm having the whole vlog basically for this. So if you're not interested in game hauls, come back tomorrow, because I want to tell you a story as I go. Now, this is the first one I'm going to talk about. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. I've had a bit of a farce getting this. Now, at the moment, you can tell it's in a FIFA case. It's got FIFA there. That's because this is a replacement case, and I didn't realise that when I replaced it. I'm going to have to replace it again, because the case was damaged. But there's not much I can do with that, because at least the inlay is all here. This I got today as a replacement for the one that I ordered online and got sent to me the other day, but was damaged. The case and the inlay had been ripped. Just someone had basically caught the finger in the top and pulled down. So the spine was damaged. So of course I took that back and said, look, I'm a collector, I'm not going to buy stuff that bad. I mean, this, it's a little bit scuffed along there, but I can deal with that. That's fine. Damage to the actual inlay to the point where it's like, well, that's damage beyond repair. Well, I'm not going to take that, so I took it back and said, look, I need to replace it. Can you refund me this and I'll buy that one? They went, yeah, that's no problem. Also took back a copy of, which one was it? Yeah, Manchester United Club Football. Like I said, I've been ordering the club footballs, and I had to take that back because I ordered Manchester United Club Football 2005. They sent me Club Football 2003-04 season. It's an easy mistake to make, but it needed to be replicated. So I picked up Turtles again today, and it's not very good. We're going to say it's one of those games where the controls aren't too bad, But it has a major issue with it in that it's fundamentally unlikable. Whenever you press a command for a jump or an attack, your character says a witty line from the show. Guys, don't do that. It's a fighting game. You're going to hear that over and over again. I was playing it for a minute before Jen told me, turn the sound off. It is so infuriating. And you know what? She's probably right. I personally wasn't paying attention. Because of my hearing loss, I have to actually be concentrating to understand what people are saying, and I wasn't paying attention to speech or background noise or anything like that, so I didn't particularly get annoyed by it, but I couldn't play it in the same room as her, so there is that. Let's move on. Now this one, I tried it, and yeah, it seems moderately okay. I mean, I'll probably give it another try at some point, and that's Commando Strike Force. Pretty good. Oh, the Turtles one doesn't have a manual there, by the way. The replacement didn't have a manual, the damaged one didn't have a manual, and basically, I'm destined to not have a manual on the Turtles games. But this one, everything's here, and everything is in really nice condition. So I was really happy to pick that one up. Like I said, it seemed alright, and I'll probably give it another try later on. Speaking of ones that aren't alright, Boxing Champions by, guess who? Midas. Oh, our favourite purveyors of absolute crap. This is in almost new condition. It's still got that feel, you know, that undamaged plastic cover feel. Hardly opens. The manual is in as new condition, and the game is also in as new condition. Which is funny, because when I tried it, it was actually moderately playable. Which is a surprise for a Midas game. So I don't know, maybe the person who had it just went, yeah, I'm not into boxing. I mean, yeah, sure, it's slow, the controls aren't quite as responsive as they should be, but I was able to have a boxing match, which is different to what you normally find on Midas, where it's barely working. Moving on and talking about stuff that's just not very good. 4x4 Evo. Yeah, 4x4 Evo on the front, 4x4 Evolution on the side. Where the road ends, the game begins. You control your car from a first-person perspective, as if you are the car. So while you're moving along, you see nothing of your car, you're just there, sort of floating in the road. But every time you go over bumps, it doesn't correspond with what the camera's doing. So you'll go over bumps and then you'll see the road going up and down. Meanwhile, your camera is slightly lagged, so it's whoa, 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 and wobbling all over the place, giving you travel sickness while playing the game. Sure, that's an interesting way of simulating things and getting you really into it if you're a travel sick person, but for a game player, that's not what you want to see. So anyway, pretty good condition case, almost as good a texture as the Midas one, where it really does feel like it hasn't been used much, probably because of the car sickness thing. Manual is in nearly new condition, and the game's pretty good too, so nice one to add to the collection, but I don't think I'll be playing it for very long. Now next up, we have one that, this looks like it might be alright if I can work out the controls, and it's one of those where, is this the one, or is it the one I showed you before? There was one of these that I tried to change the mouse look to inverted so that it works the way. I'm from flight sims. When I push up on the joystick, I should look down, because when I push up on the flight stick of a flight simulator, you go down. That's what's ingrained in my head. Push forward to go down. You can't invert on one of these games, and I can't remember which one. It might be this one, it might be another one. But that was infuriating for what it was. So anyway, SWAT Global Strike Team seemed alright when I was trying it out, and I'll probably give it another try. Again, reasonable condition case. Reasonable condition manual. I'm doing alright in the manual so far, Turtles notwithstanding. So, pretty happy with that. Moving on, I'm going to go through a few of these pretty quick because the Shell Shock NAM 67, yeah, generic shooter. Whoever's traded all these games in, because apparently someone had come in yesterday and traded 40 PS2 games in. Whoever's done that, like their shooters. Good condition manual, good condition case. Doing well for so far. Next up we have one that Jen's been looking at in Bolton for months, and it was infuriating her because we have the first one, we didn't have the sequel because the one that's in Bolton is shagged out basically. So Max Payne 2, now we have the sequel in decent condition case, good condition manual. Seemed alright, I'll probably give that a play once I've played through the original. Now, this is an interesting one. This one, when I put it in, it was alright, I suppose. It's an oddity though. It's using the same renderware engine that everything else does on PS2 era. So yeah, you get a feeling like you've played the game before because everything looks the same. But it's an oddity, and I'll definitely be giving it another look because the concept intrigued me, and the controls were pretty good. So what is it? Mark Echo's Getting Up. I have no idea who Mark Echo is. I don't know what possessed them to make a game about graffiti, but it seemed odd, and it seemed reasonably good controls. Good condition case, decent manual, and it's got the bump behind it as well. So I'd looked out on that one. It's an interesting idea. I'll probably give it another try. There's a lot here, and basically we went on retail therapy and we've picked up 2% of the total now. So we are up just a tad over, like decimal points, over 36% of the way through the collection. We're trying to get all of the PAL released, not all PAL released, we're trying to get all of the UK released PlayStation 2 games. We may end up picking up a few others from the PAL regions, but we're going for a UK complete collection. We're 36% the way through. This one is LA Rush. Reasonable condition case. It's not quite got the new Sheen feel to it, but it doesn't open much because it hasn't been much used. It's a reasonable game. When I tried it, Jen looked at it and went, "You're playing Grand Theft Auto San Andreas, you're playing the races on that." And yeah, pretty much. Good, like I said, good condition with the manual, and loads up quite nicely. I'll give it another try at another point because it was fairly easy to control, but yeah, essentially we were playing Grand Theft Auto's races. Speaking of races, Formula 1 2001, not much you can say about this. It was alright, it's another yearly thing, but no manual this time. Decent condition case, except for this. You know, if you've seen any of these vlogs before, you know what my stance is on second-hand retailers branding their stuff. Don't do it. It doesn't make it look big. It doesn't make it look clever. All you're doing it for is so that you can tell when someone's bringing it back to trade in again that you don't have to give them the full price. Now this one, when I saw it on the shelf, Jen thought it was a replica case because of its funny look. But it's actually just foil and sheens. Isn't that interesting? There's a few of these that do that, and yeah, it looks weird when you put it on the shelf though because they do start to look replica. And Kenneth Connor made it up there. And to a certain extent, the Kingdom Hearts ones, they all look a bit weird because of the foil cover. Oh, it's... Hang on. Still got one of those little, you know, little plastic tabs. You know, if you've played a game, you know these things. They never seem to come off entirely. But anyway, it's pretty good. It was interesting. It was like a wander around adventure shooter thing. It's got all of the extra bumps, so I'm going to show you that in a second. And the game is Extermination, which starts off with a warning that says this contains depictions of violence and gore or something like that. And when I saw that I went, whoa! I'm hoping so! That's kind of what I bought it for. But anyway, got the bump about the memory card and the DualShock controller. Got the bump about some other game. Yeah, a PlayStation 1 game it looks like. And the manual in very, very good condition. So basically, this has been handled with a lot of care. So I'm very, very happy to add it to the collection because it'll be handled with care here too, she says as she almost drops it. Now next up, this one has not been handled with care. And I don't mean by the person who owned it or me. It's by the people who made it. Road Trip Adventure. Basically, it's like running toy cars around a track. Look at that. See that? That's 16-bit era stuff, but it's on the PlayStation 2. Now, the cover is lovely. I love the cover. It's really, really interesting. The case is in very good condition. The manual's been used. I mean, it's got creases, but nothing too bad. And clearly, by the way, it opens up and just falls flat. Yeah, it's been used a lot. But the problem is that it's a severely old game that appears to just have been ported over to the PlayStation cheaply. And it looks it, it feels it, it's not very good. One that is good, however, is Reservoir Dogs, which I enjoyed playing a bit of. It feels an awful lot like Grand Theft Auto, just like every other game that's on here. Very good condition manual, although it has been read, it's creased. When I put it in, Jen was interested, I was interested. It was playing background music, you know the one, Clowns to the left and me Jokers to the right. That was playing in a garage while I was doing the tutorial on how to shoot. So I shot the radio that was in there and the background music went away. I thought that was a really nice touch. So that has, it cemented itself as one of those that I'm going to have to replay. I'm losing my voice. Spent an awful lot of time today talking in a meeting that went on for 4 hours. It was very stressful, which is why we did retail therapy, but I'm losing my voice now. Anyway, let's move on. This one's damaged. TNA Impact, yeah? Yeah, TNA Impact, Total Non-Stop Action Wrestling. Someone stuck a sticker onto the inlay and then someone else tried to rip it off and now it's damaged. Yeah, it's shagged out. It's seen a lot of wear. The manual's here, but it's creased. And it's an alright game, I suppose, if you like wrestling, which I don't. Speaking of wrestling and staying on that subject, Def Jam Vendetta. I didn't expect that to be a wrestling game. I thought it'd be more like a Grand Theft Auto clone, but yeah, it's a wrestling game. Really good condition. Really good condition manual too, so I'm very happy with that, but I'm not sure I get it. I don't think it's for me, you know, it's not my thing. Now, let's grab a few and go through these quick, because otherwise we're going to be here all day. What was it? Delta Force Black Hawk Down. First thing that I did was accidentally shoot all my teammates when I thought they were the enemy, so that's a good start. Decent condition case, decent condition manual. Doing alright on manuals, but yeah, I'll have to give that another look. Oh, the only other thing is, it's been water damaged, it's rippled on the back, see? Yeah. But, oh well. I noticed that after I bought it, but oh well. Next up, Colin McRae Rally 3. Speaking of doing well with manuals, this one hasn't got one, but it does have the bump. Now, this one is actually alright, you know. Colin McRae Rally ones, they're pretty good. Cold Masters, you did well on that. Just a pity you sold out with club football. Speaking of one that isn't very good, World War II Soldier. Now, it's by Midas, so you know it's not going to be very good, but decent condition case. Decent condition pamphlet for a manual. When I loaded it up, the first thing I did was get lost because you're in the dark. I couldn't find where I was going. There was a barrier in front of me, so I tried to climb over it, found I couldn't climb or jump, turned around and wandered off and ended up going around in a circle. Not the best. Talking of things that might be pretty good though, bit of a bad segue, I know. Ghost Hunter. Now, I like Devil May Cry. You may have noticed that when I talked about Devil May Cry 2 the other day. And this game, with its good manual and good inlay, feels a lot like it's going to be Devil May Cry. If I could skip the unskippable cutscenes and actually get into the game and try it out, I would tell you, but I only had a minute or two per game to make sure that they loaded before I made this video. So I haven't actually played the game yet, I've just seen unskippable cutscenes with really crap dialogue. But hopefully it'll be a bit like Devil May Cry, and as in an action adventure fighting game, so I'll be very happy if that happens. Now this one got to some interest when I mentioned it on Facebook. WWF SmackDown vs Raw 2010, so the last but one of the WWF games that were on PlayStation. Decent condition case, decent condition manual, or it has clearly been used. As wrestling games go, it works. I don't really understand wrestling games. It's fake fighting on a fake game, what can I say? So it's like fake twice. But yeah, it worked, so yeah. Talking of things that were not very good. Viet Cong Purple Haze. They are. Decent condition case. Decent condition manual. Again, I'm doing well with the manuals, but the game, yeah, I don't know. I gave it a few minutes just to see how it was, but it's going to be one of those shooters. A war shooter. Not much you can say about it. They're all pretty generic at this point. This one looked interesting though. Rogue Ops. Now, you can see the sheen already. It feels new. It's got a nice new game sheen feel to it. Hardly opens. Really nice condition manual. I think this one's going to be okay. So I'm going to give it another try later on. Very nice condition. Very happy to have that. Can't say much about it because all I did to test it was load it up and make sure that it worked. This one, however, I played for a bit because some of the graphics on the back make it look like it was a remake of a game from the Amstrad CPC era. Turns out it's not, it's just a set of mini-games. But for a second I thought, is this a remake of the Amstrad classic? Postman Pat. Now you may laugh, I spent £4 on this because I thought it was an Amstrad CPC remake. It's not, it's all mini-games, it's a totally new game. look at the condition. I don't generally see games aimed squarely at young kids in this condition. It's hardly touched. It's great. I open it up. The manual is there in nearly new condition. And the extra bump about the DVD is in nearly new condition. So I'm really, really happy with this. The game itself, well, it's for kids, so it's very, very simple. But, yeah, if you've got young kids, they might like it. Especially if they're fans of Postman Pat. That is a really, really good condition thing there. So, very, very happy. Now this one, yeah, it's another shooter. Project Snowblind. Not much else I can say about that. Good condition. Really nice condition manual. Generic shooter. Let's move on. Oh. Now this next one I didn't get from CEX. I got it from a charity shop. And it's got a bit of an unfortunate story to it. Because while I was in the queue waiting for... I was over in Salford when I picked this up in the charity shop there. When I was in the queue, there was a coloured woman in front of us getting served. And Jem and I just wandered over into the queue talking about the game. And I think she got a bit nervous with us. Because it's called iToy Monkey Mania. And it features the characters from Ape Escape. Now, perfectly innocently, we were saying, oh, it's Monkey Mania, it's got the Ape Escape characters in it. And she shuddered and looked around at us, slightly startled. And it didn't click straight away why. So Jen and I just kept talking about it. Jen was saying, why don't we see this around? Is it rare or something like that? And so, I don't think it is, it's just that we haven't come across it yet. And she said, well, maybe it's one that wasn't out here. I said, well, no, Ape Escape was very popular. It still is. I mean, there are two games, and one still fetches 10 quid, and the other one's 15, so they must be pretty good. And I think the woman relaxed, because she realised we weren't talking about her. And that's what clicked later on. When we were talking about monkeys and apes, for this game, like, it's Monkey Mania, and it's got the Ape Escape characters. I have a feeling that she's from... in that part of Salford, there must be a race problem. And it's something that hadn't clicked to me. Being from the northeast where, yeah, there is, but there's a definite racism issue at the moment. But back when I was growing up, there wasn't, because just about everyone was white. And coming to Bolton, where it's a very mixed community, we don't tend to get... It's not an issue that comes up that I'm involved in, you know? I'm trying to put this in a way that doesn't sound like I'm just ignoring issues, because there clearly are issues. And this concerns me to have had someone think, instinctively it seemed, to think that we'll be talking in a racist way because we're mentioning that. It just hit home how much of a problem there must be in that area. For that to be the instinctive response when someone mentions monkeys or apes, even innocently like we were, for that to be the go-to response, like they must be racists doing that. That's not a good position to be in. Salford, what the hell are you doing? That's something that needs sorting out, like, my goodness. So if I'd clicked at the time before the woman had left, I'd have probably gone over and said, look, we saw how you reacted. That's not what we were talking about. We were talking about the game. We meant nothing else. But she'd gone by the time I clicked on. I'm not the fastest for race issues when in that sort of response, because it's not something that comes up. But my goodness, that's not a good... If that's what's going on, and that's how she ends up living her life, then that's no good. And everyone deserves better than that. Anyway, that sad aside, let's move back on to something brighter. Evil Twin. Now this one I saw in, I think this was Bury yesterday, and I had to have it because it looks interesting. And look at the stuff. I don't know much about it. It's some sort of RPG action thing, like an action adventure game. Pretty good condition. The manual is like creased to hell, but at least I've got it, and I'm gonna have to go soon because my voice is going quite quickly. So let's move on to another one that is an RPG, Shadow of Memories. People should be aware of this, especially if you've ever had a PS2, because it seems to be everywhere. The cover, it's good condition, but look at the picture, it's terrible. What on earth were they thinking? Like, No. I realise that you're happy with your new type of graphical capability, but don't stick it on the cover, because look at it, it's crap. No manual though, but I do have the bump. And no voice left, so yeah, I'm going to move on quick. So let's power through these. Two of those aren't actually from this set. And Nana Club Football Rangers, you know the score, decent case. Manual's pretty good. Game is utter crap. Surfing H2O. No, not H2O, H3O. It's a Rockstar game. I'm assuming it's a sequel or something like that. But very nice condition case. Very nice condition manual. Moving on to the ones I want to talk about. Picked up two of the Turtles games. Turtles 2 Battle Nexus and Turtles Smash Up. Both Konami, both really nice condition cases. Do I have the manuals? For Turtles 2, yes, I do. For Turtles Smash Up, it's more of a pamphlet, but it's there. I haven't done much with this because it's a fight. It's basically a brawler. Yeah, Battle Nexus. I'm currently playing through this. The reason I got this one, and the reason I paid the ridiculous price for a terrible game, is because, yes, it's a full game, and it's not a very good one, but it's a full game. But it contains the Turtles 2 arcade game from the 80s. Now, that to me is worth the cover price already, so I'm trying to plough through the game to get to the point where I can unlock it, because it's an unlockable that you find on, I think it's level 9. Sorry, not level, section 9. Each section is split into multiple bits, so section 9 part 1, it's in there somewhere. So I'm ploughing through to get to that so I can play the Turtles arcade game, because I love it. It is one of the best, if not the best, side-scrolling brawlers of its time, with 4-player action, and it was wonderful, so I really, really want to get to that. Speaking of games that I really like, Devil May Cry 3! Excellent! Pretty good condition case. It's only slight damage on the bottom there. Slight bit of damage there. Apart from that, it's perfect. The manual is here, and so is the demo for Monster Hunter. So every part of it's here, everything's here. Really, really happy with that. And that's it. My voice is going. I've got to go. This has been really, really long. I hope you've enjoyed that. We're up to 36%, 36 point something like 06 or something % of all of the UK releases for PS2. Really, really happy. Let's keep going. Happy collecting, guys. But yeah, that's all I've got time for. It's mostly a retro bundle day. Sorry, guys, but that's how it is. Anyway, thanks for watching, and I'll see you tomorrow.